Boom. So today we're taking a break from um, investment topics, and I just want to talk about philosophy, right? The philosophy of cynicism, stoicism, and then I don't really have a word for this, but I'm gonna call it the manifest philosophy. So let's start now. What exactly is cynicism? So there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There, it's a school of thought, right? So basically, it has to do with with being cynic, right? That everything is motivated by self-interest, by um, you things are basically motivated. There is an underlying motive between everything, and of course, so that means cynics tend to view things in such a way where um, if you are offered food, there has to be a catch, right? So, um, like for example, the food might be poison. The food might be a way for them to win you over, so that when they ask for favors, we are more inclined to say yes. So it's being skeptical on things that go on around you. It doesn't necessarily have to do with being negative, right? However, of course, by being a cynic, you also put yourself in situations where instead of just experiencing life for what it is, and life is generally beautiful and amazing, you also have to ask why, right? Why you have to ask what's the motive behind what is happening. For example, um, and it's very helpful, by the way. They're as a modern cynic, like for example, um, generally people applaud good deeds done by good people. For example, the um, the local pantry, or the community pantry that popped up during the pandemic. So it was organized by a lot of good people, so that they can help fellow Filipinos feed themselves. And then, it was very hard for a lot, and the community pantries have helped communities for the better. However, a cynic will view it like this: well, yeah, it's true. The community pantries are amazing. They did their job. They have made life easier during trying times. However, the question here is, why did it have to happen in the first place? Right? For cynics, it just means that the system is broken because good people have to do what the government should be doing. And then it just spirals on and on. Okay, what about accountability? Maybe we're not accounting, blah 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 blah, right? And it could be another thing, right? They could not be attacking the government outright. They or or scrutinizing the event. They could also just be um, attacking the motives of the people who are helping the said community, right? Um, is it really helping, or are you doing this out of a sense of good, or are you doing this because it puts you in a position of power and it feels good, etc., etc. Now, stoicism, and I'm not saying that cynicism is bad. I'm also not saying that cynicism is good. However, a healthy cynic in modern age is able to tackle problems in a very objective way. Right? You are not, what's the word I'm looking for? You are not um, what's the word I'm looking for? You are not you are objective when you're looking at things. You are not emotionally driven. So you can see the problem and what is good and what should be accountable, what shouldn't be, what we should and shouldn't do, right? So, um, like for example, again, let's go back to the community pantries. Community pantries should not exist. Yeah, not because it makes the government look bad, but because it means, and hello Miss Tati, tip ni Tati for watching. It means that in some way or form we have failed to keep the people who are supposed to do their jobs accountable, right? So that's a form of cynicism now. And look at stoicism now. Stoicism, in the what's the word I'm looking for? In the short time I've dove into this, it's it's a it's a philosophy that harbors on four key virtues. So there's wisdom, there's justice, there's courage, there's moderation. Um, and more than that, what I love about Stoicism is the fact that great people are able to handle huge ordeals, um, by becoming Stoics. They are able to be brave in times where being brave is illogical. They are able to become they are able to find meaning in times where there's just despair, etc., etc. Okay, so being stoic also means whatever will be, an endurance of pain or hardships without the display of feelings and without complaint. So it's 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 a, what's the word I'm looking for? Who knows, right? So when I speak this afternoon on cynicism, stoicism, and then the manifest philosophy equals whatever, I'm actually not here because I have an answer, right? I'm here to just send out more questions than what it is. So, um, and then there's also the manifest philosophy, right? So the manifest philosophy is where you, um, are outrightly, and there are three tenets to this, right? If you're practicing this philosophy, you basically ask, you believe, and then you receive. So the tenets here is basically, um, you know what you want, you ask for what you want, and you outrightly receive what you want, right? So lots of crazy stuff here. So, and now as I go live, I just have more questions. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end tonight's live and actually think further into whatever the topic that I've made. So that's it, and see you guys.